Pretty high, really. You know, we've got a lot of guys back from last year's team, and hopefully guys get 1 year older and 1 year more mature, and 1 year of experience and becoming a better player and learning how to win at this level. So we actually have pretty high expectations coming into this season.
It'll be your first full year here at Mon County Ballpark. Speak to the benefit of having this facility year-round.
Yeah, you know, we really didn't get to take advantage of it this past spring because we didn't even get in it till the halfway point. So this fall is important for us, for guys to learn how to turn this into a home field advantage and practice on it every day, which we didn't get to do last year. So you know, we just got up here last week, so it's been good to get out here every day.
How are you feeling about this game Sunday and just all these fall games coming up in general?
You know, it's nice to play outside competition. Guys get tired of playing against each other, you know, so we get an opportunity to play outside competition, get some young guys in there and see what they can do, because in our situation, we don't get to play inter-squad games a whole lot in the spring because of the weather. So any opportunity we get to play in the fall, this is when we start determining our lineup and who's going to pitch in what roles. So these games are super important to us in the fall.
Well, how much of it really does play into figuring out who's going to dress, who travels, the roster? I mean, does fall ball really predict? Does it foreshadow anything?
You know, it helps because if you don't play outside competition in the fall, then it takes us 10 or 15 games into the spring to really know who's going to fit in where. And, you know, you hope in those first 15 games while you're learning that you don't lose too much. So this is important to see. You know, a lot of guys are really good players in practice. When another team shows up, they're a different guy, and vice versa. A lot of guys are gamers instead of practice players, so that really helps trying to identify who's going to step up when the uniform color changes in the other dugout.
What's the one most important thing you're focusing on this season?
You know, team chemistry, I think. We know we've got good players. We've got some experience. You know, for the old guys in this program, older guys, I don't want to call them old guys, for the more experienced guys in this program to gel with the incoming guys in this program, that's how you have great teams and good seasons if you can establish that chemistry. And now that we're in the locker room and we have our facility and we have a team lounge, I think the camaraderie so far has really been good. So we want to keep that up throughout the fall and make sure guys are competing against each other for positions, but at the same time everybody's pulling for each other. So that's going really well so far, but we haven't written the lineup yet. You know, that changes things sometimes, but really pleased with where we're at right now.
What's the difference in your coaching style between fall and spring?
Good question. You know, there's obviously a lot more pressure in the springtime because you have to win. If you want to play in the postseason, you have to win games. These games in the fall, you don't necessarily have to win them. A lot of times you learn more about your team when you lose a game than when you win a game. If you win, sometimes some of the mistakes get overshadowed, but when you lose, you know exactly what you need to work on going into the following week of practice. So everything we do, we have a term we use, inexpensive experience. You know, if we lose games, if we lose this game Sunday, we really, in the big scheme of things, didn't really lose anything. We've learned why we lost and how to correct it. So that's the benefit of playing these games.
Talk about team chemistry, but your team in general is still pretty young. Have you noticed that the older players seem to help out with, you know, the incoming freshmen more, or do some of the younger players that have only been here for maybe just a year, do they seem to talk to the younger guys more often? Have you noticed anything like that?
Yeah, I think our older guys understand the message that we're trying to convey is we're trying to have a good team here. You know, we're not competing against each other. We're all competing for the same thing, which is to win games in the spring. So I've seen a lot of the older guys helping out the younger guys, even guys that play the same position that are fighting for one spot. So that's, as a coach, when you look around and see that, it tells you a lot about the older kids in your program, and we have older kids in our program that aren't afraid to vacuum the locker room or chase a foul ball. And they're not just pushing those dirty jobs to the freshmen like happens a lot. So I think the old guys recognize that we've got some really good players, incoming players in here, and those guys can really help us win games. So they're doing everything they can to make them feel comfortable.
Who are one or two of those incoming guys that you're
most excited about?
You know, there's been a lot. You know, we got a freshman middle infielder named Cole Austin who's really shown well so far. We got a couple of freshman pitchers that we really like. So I think there's a situation we only lost 4 seniors off last year's team, but we added more good players than what we lost. So take that along with the experience that we've got coming back. But like you said, it's still a young team. We still only have 4 seniors. So this year and next year is really exciting for us. It's exciting to play in this stadium, but when you build a facility like this, you don't really reap the benefits for 2 or 3 years down the road because there's nobody on this team that has been recruited to this stadium. You know, right now we're recruiting sophomores and juniors in high school. That's the first class that has actually been able to walk through this facility. By the time they get here, it's 3 years from now, you know, so we'll really start seeing the benefits of this place 4 or 5 years from now. But right now it's exciting to play in, and I think these guys feel really good about it. They feel really good about what we've provided for them, and this is a program that's trying to achieve top 25 status, and I think we've got everything in place to do that now. It's just going to take a little time.
Are there certain players that are taking on more of a leadership role this year?
Yeah, you know, leaders aren't somebody you can point out and say, hey, would you like to be a leader this year? You know, so we haven't asked guys to do that. We just kind of watch and see who has taken on that role. Casey Huth has done a tremendous job in that role, and Ray Guarini has done a tremendous job in that role. And from the pitching standpoint, we've got Jeff Hardy's done a good job, and Ross Vance. They're older guys, and they should be doing that, but you can't really ask them to do it. You got to teach them how to be leaders and let them just rise to the surface, you know. And they've done a tremendous job of doing that so far, and that's what's exciting to me. You know, anytime you watch an interview with a coach, regardless of the sport, basketball, football, after they win a championship or win a bowl game, they always talk about what great leadership you have in the clubhouse. And without that, you don't interview those coaches, you know. So those guys know that we can't have a good season without leadership. So I think they're taking it upon themselves that that means a lot to this program. And like I said, they're doing a real good job so far.